$150 could change every electric car forever. That's less than a decent set of tires for most vehicles, and it might add 15% more driving range immediately. But here's where it gets genuinely weird and unexpected. The answer isn't better batteries or smarter software at all. It's a transmission that changes shape while spinning incredibly fast. And yes, Tesla already tried this idea and completely failed. So why would anyone think a tiny Canadian startup could succeed? Let's rewind and understand why electric cars became gearless in first place. Most people assume EVs don't need transmissions at all anymore. After all, electric motors deliver instant torque the moment you accelerate. There's no waiting, no revving, no shifting sensation whatsoever. It feels like the perfect solution that requires nothing else. But here's the hidden truth nobody really talks about openly. Electric motors waste significant energy outside their ideal RPM range. Push them too hard and they pull extra current unnecessarily. That wasted energy turns into heat instead of forward motion. For most automakers, this inefficiency was simply acceptable enough. They chose mechanical simplicity over chasing every efficiency percentage. But Aptera built their entire identity around obsessive efficiency goals. Every single fraction of a percent matters enormously to them. That's exactly why they partnered with Emotive from Toronto. This small team of 37 people has something genuinely different. They call it in-gear, and it's not your grandfather's transmission. Traditional gearboxes use heavy clutches and complex planetary sets. This system uses something engineers call a morphing sprocket chain. Picture a gear that physically changes shape while spinning rapidly. Segments expand and contract in perfect mechanical synchronization. The entire shift completes inside just 30 milliseconds total. That's faster than your brain can even register the movement. And here's the mind-blowing part you won't expect. Torque delivery never stops during the entire shift process. There's no jolt, no power drop, absolutely nothing noticeable. Passengers wouldn't even realize a gear change just happened. Now let's talk about what this actually means for drivers. Internal testing shows a 15% improvement in driving range. Acceleration improves by roughly 20% under same conditions. Top speed numbers reportedly increase by a similar margin. And remember that $150 price tag mentioned earlier. In the automotive world, that amount is essentially pocket change. For Aptera's already efficient vehicles, the gains become enormous. Their 400-mile model could stretch toward 460. That's like getting a bigger battery pack absolutely free. No added weight, no altered aerodynamics, nothing complicated. Just clever mechanical engineering doing what it does best. But surely there must be some hidden catch, right? After all, Tesla's original Roadster tried this approach decades ago. Their 2-speed gearbox literally tore itself apart during testing. The electric motor's torque was simply too violent for the gears. Tesla abandoned the concept and simplified everything to 1 speed. Every major automaker followed that same conservative formula since. Only Porsche and Audi dared to revisit multi-speed designs again, but their systems were heavy, expensive, and impossibly complex. They weren't designed for everyday affordable vehicles at scale. So what makes Emotive's approach genuinely different this time? They completely reimagined the transmission concept from scratch entirely. Instead of traditional gears, they use a chain that morphs shape. Only sprocket segments not currently under load actually move. That design minimizes friction and mechanical wear dramatically. The motor itself generates reverse torque impulses during shifts. These impulses actively cancel out mechanical jerk completely. The whole mechanism sounds pulled straight from science fiction. But it's real engineering that has survived rigorous durability testing. Now here comes the skepticism that any smart person would have. Can this system handle extreme heat and freezing cold conditions? Will it remain quiet after accumulating tens of thousands of miles? Can it actually deliver those promised gains without new maintenance? These are entirely fair questions that deserve honest answers. Emotive claims their accelerated wear testing shows excellent durability. The specialized chain design minimizes friction and operational noise. They engineered the system to remain maintenance-free long-term. But promises alone simply aren't sufficient proof yet. The real test comes when Aptera accumulates serious real-world mileage. Until then, engineers and enthusiasts will watch this story closely. But let's step back and consider the bigger picture here. The entire EV industry has been chasing software and battery improvements. Meanwhile, mechanical innovation was dismissed as outdated thinking. This partnership proves that clever hardware still matters enormously. It demonstrates that genuine innovation isn't always digital. Sometimes the most meaningful breakthroughs come from physical engineering. Think about what this could mean across the entire industry. Every EV on the road could travel 10 to 15% farther. That improvement would happen without mining additional raw materials. Less battery production means significantly less environmental impact. Fewer charging stops means more freedom for everyday drivers. All of this from one small shifting mechanical component. It's almost poetic that the transmission might save electric cars. The technology once dismissed as obsolete could become essential again. Now here's an honest question worth considering carefully. Would you accept some mechanical complexity for more driving range? Would you welcome extra moving parts for better performance overall? For me personally, the answer feels genuinely simple to articulate. If this technology truly works reliably over time, pursue it. Meaningful progress was never about avoiding necessary change. Real progress means embracing smart engineering opportunities when arise. The future of electric vehicles might not remain completely silent. It might shift gears while confidently moving into new territory. That outcome blends our mechanical past with our electric future. It's where proven principles meet modern innovation head-on, and that intersection is exactly where the next leap begins. Stay curious about emerging technology and inspired by innovation. Keep exploring whatever continues driving our collective future forward. Every great engineering story starts with someone questioning the obvious. The obvious answer here was bigger batteries for more range, but that thinking ignores the enormous cost and weight penalties. Battery packs are expensive, heavy, and require rare earth materials. Mining those materials damages the environment in significant ways. So finding alternative solutions isn't just clever, it's absolutely necessary. This is where Emotive's breakthrough becomes genuinely revolutionary for the industry. They didn't just tweak an existing design or make minor improvements. They fundamentally rethought how power transfers from motor to wheels. The morphing sprocket concept sounds like something from a dream, but it works using principles that have existed for centuries. Mechanical engineering at its finest often looks like magic at first. The chain physically changes diameter while rotating at high speeds. Imagine a bicycle chain that could grow larger or smaller instantly. That's essentially what Emotive has accomplished with their in-gear system. The segments lock into place with incredible precision during operation. When shifting occurs, the segments retract or expand simultaneously. Everything happens without any interruption to the power flow. This continuous torque delivery is what makes the system special. Previous designs required a momentary pause during gear changes. That pause meant a noticeable jolt that drivers would feel immediately. Emotive eliminated that problem entirely through clever engineering choices. The reverse torque impulses from the motor smooth everything out. Your foot stays on the accelerator without any change in pressure. The car just keeps pulling forward as if nothing happened underneath. This seamless experience is what makes the technology so appealing. Drivers want more range without sacrificing the smooth EV feel. Nobody wants their electric car to feel like an old gas vehicle. The jerky shifting of traditional transmissions belongs to the past. Emotive understands this and designed their system accordingly. The result is performance that feels entirely natural and effortless. Now let's examine the partnership between Aptera and Emotive more closely. Aptera has always been a company that thinks differently about everything. Their three-wheeled solar vehicles look like nothing else on the road. They prioritize efficiency above all other performance metrics completely. Adding a transmission to their vehicle lineup seems counterintuitive at first. After all, they've built their reputation on simplicity and lightweight design. But the numbers make this decision almost impossible to ignore completely. A 15% range increase without adding any battery weight. That's the kind of improvement that changes business calculations entirely. Aptera's mission has always been about maximizing every single watt. They use solar panels to charge continuously while driving down roads. Their aerodynamic shape reduces drag better than almost any production car. Every component is chosen specifically for its efficiency characteristics. So adding in-gear fits perfectly into their existing engineering philosophy. It's another tool to squeeze more miles from the same energy. The synergy between these two companies makes strategic sense completely. Emotive gets a real-world testing platform for their groundbreaking technology. Aptera gets a competitive advantage that no other automaker currently has. It's a partnership that could reshape the entire EV landscape gradually. But let's address the elephant in the room right now. Why hasn't any major automaker successfully done this before now? The answer involves risk, cost, and the fear of failure. Large companies tend to avoid radical changes to proven designs. They stick with what works even if it's not optimal. Innovation often comes from smaller players with less to lose. Emotive has 37 people and $80 million in funding. That's nothing compared to Tesla or Ford's massive engineering budgets. But small teams can move faster and take bigger risks. They don't have legacy products to protect or shareholders to please. This allows them to pursue ideas that seem crazy at first glance. The morphing sprocket definitely falls into that seemingly crazy category. Yet here we are discussing it as a legitimate breakthrough technology. The automotive industry has seen this pattern repeat many times before. Small companies innovate while large corporations watch from the sidelines. Then the successful innovations get adopted by everyone eventually. This is how progress happens in almost every industry imaginable. So what happens if InGear proves itself in real-world testing conditions? The implications extend far beyond just Aptera's vehicles specifically. Every electric car manufacturer would need to reconsider their transmission strategy. A simple $150 component with such massive benefits. That's not just an improvement, it's a complete paradigm shift. The economics are simply too compelling to ignore indefinitely. Automakers spend thousands of dollars chasing single-digit efficiency gains. Aerodynamic tweaks, lighter materials, and better tires all cost money. None of those approaches offer the same return on investment here. 15% more range for essentially pocket change is remarkable. This could become the standard feature in every new EV produced. But there's always a gap between promise and actual delivery. We've seen many revolutionary technologies fail during real-world testing. The transition from lab to production is where most ideas die. Emotive needs to prove their system works in everyday driving conditions. That means extreme temperatures, rough roads, and years of use. It means subjecting the transmission to everything drivers throw at it. Aptera's cautious approach makes perfect sense given these uncertainties. They'll test the system thoroughly before committing to production vehicles. This methodical process reflects their engineering culture and values. They don't make promises they can't keep to their customers. That integrity is what builds trust over time with buyers. But when the data confirms the technology works as claimed, watch out. The entire industry will scramble to license or replicate this innovation. And Emotive will become one of the most valuable companies in automotive. All because they dared to question the conventional wisdom about transmissions. They saw an opportunity where everyone else saw a dead end. That's the essence of true engineering brilliance and creativity. It's not about having more resources or bigger teams. It's about seeing problems from a completely different perspective entirely. The morphing sprocket represents that kind of visionary thinking. It uses existing mechanical principles in a completely novel way. There's no new physics or exotic materials required for this. Just smart engineering applied to a problem everyone had given up on. That's what makes this story so compelling and worth following closely. The underdog startup taking on established industry giants successfully. It's a narrative that resonates with anyone who loves innovation. And the potential payoff for consumers is genuinely life-changing overall. Imagine never worrying about range anxiety during long road trips. Imagine charging less frequently and saving money on electricity. Imagine reducing your environmental footprint without sacrificing convenience. These are the tangible benefits that InGear could eventually deliver. They're not abstract promises but concrete improvements to daily life. And they come from something as simple as a better transmission design. The irony is almost too perfect to be believed at all. The component that automakers abandoned decades ago makes a comeback. It returns not as a relic of the past but as future technology. The transmission becomes the hero of the electric vehicle revolution. Who could have predicted that outcome just a few years ago? Certainly not the engineers who dismissed multi-speed EVs entirely. But that's exactly how technological progress often unfolds unexpectedly. Yesterday's obsolete technology becomes tomorrow's breakthrough innovation. The key is applying old principles to new problems creatively. Emotive has done exactly that with their InGear transmission system. They've breathed new life into a concept everyone thought was dead, and they've done it with elegance and simplicity that impresses experts. The engineering community is watching this development with great interest. Many are skeptical, but others are genuinely excited about the possibilities. If this works, it could change everything about electric vehicle design. The focus would shift from battery chemistry to drivetrain efficiency, That would open up entirely new avenues for improvement overall. Engineers would start looking at other supposedly obsolete technologies too. What else have we dismissed that might actually be useful today? That's the exciting question that this partnership raises for everyone. It challenges our assumptions about what's possible in EV design, and it reminds us that innovation often comes from unexpected places. The future of transportation might look very different than we imagined. It might include technologies we've already invented but forgotten about. The transmission is just the first example of this phenomenon emerging. There will likely be others as engineers rethink their assumptions. The industry is entering a period of creative destruction and renewal. Old ideas get re-examined through the lens of new technology. This is how progress has always worked throughout human history. We build on the past while reaching toward the future simultaneously. The Inger transmission embodies this beautiful synthesis perfectly. It honors mechanical engineering traditions while pushing boundaries. It proves that the best solutions often blend old and new thinking. Aptera and Emotive are leading this charge toward a better future. Their partnership demonstrates what's possible when visionaries collaborate openly, and the results could benefit every single electric vehicle driver eventually. So keep watching this space because the story is just beginning. The real breakthroughs happen when testing confirms the initial promise. And when that moment arrives, everything changes for the better permanently. The humble transmission might just save the electric vehicle revolution.